This is the last passage we're going to hear from Jude of Damascus, Jude the Damascene, for a little while. The name of my wife is a beautiful name. In Hebrew, it means new, like the new moon of a new month. And so she was, in all her ways, in all her days, ever new to me and ever young, but never the newness that destroys the old. Hodesh was youth to me. Don't you see? She kept my old self young. I had already entered the 45th year of my age when we married, but she was 17. There was in me no deserving of such a gift of God. And then, exactly 21 days before the Feast of Tabernacles, she became sick. But this was the year we had planned to make a pilgrimage to Jerusalem for the feast. It would have been her first pilgrimage to the holy city. But she fell sick, and she lay down on her pallet, and I nursed her. I did not cry. I comforted her. But my Hodesh could not keep food in her stomach. And soon she loathed the taste of it. And if she drank anything at all, she threw it up with terrible convulsions. And then, on the evening of the 18th day before the feast, she smiled at me. All her pain was gone. She smiled a pale smile as thin and white as the crescent moon. And then she closed her eyes and released a long, long sigh. And then she died. It was the day after the Feast of Tabernacles that I and others met with the leaders of the synagogue and together wrote letters to the high priest in Jerusalem, begging help because of a different sort of newness that had come to Damascus to kill us. And the help they sent us was Saul the Pharisee, a zealous man. When I returned to my house after going to the synagogue that Shabbat, it was already the night. I had lingered there till the day itself was done. I saw lamplight in one window of my house. I entered and walked to the room of that window, which was the room that I had given Saul. He was in it, sitting cross-legged on the pallet that I had also offered him, in good faith. He could see now. He raised his large head and watched me as I stepped into the room. We both cast monstrous shadows from the single flame. I said, "The pallet on which you are sitting, it belongs to my wife." He fixed his eyes on me and said, "Jude, there is only one thing you need to know, that Jesus of Nazareth, he who was crucified 18 months ago, he is alive." I bent down and began to stuff his possessions into his leather bag. I said, "For my wife's sake, I need this room and this pallet back again. Please be sure you leave nothing of yours in my house when you go." "Jude," he said, "it was Jesus himself who met me on the road. God raised him from the dead. This makes all the difference." I said, "Go, Saul, go." He rose to his feet. Now he was the one looking down on me because I continued to squat. He said, "Jude of Damascus, you've been like a father to me. This is a moment of which I am the most proud and for which I give thanks to God. I did not cry. I did not wince. I controlled my emotions. I stood up and faced him, my eyes to his eyes. I handed his bag and said to him, 'Go.'"